Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a scene for Sabbat Dinner Theatre. And this scene is a follow-up to the previous, where the Keynes bastards went to speak to the Cardinal and monomancy happened. Following the events of the monomancy, Raven asks Jean to meet her on the docks once they are both fed, to have a little bit of a chat about what went down. Before she goes and meets him, she's going to head to a particularly run-down area on the way to their domain, and try and hunt somebody by stalking. So I'm going to make a dex survival roll, I guess, or intelligence survival. Yeah. Assuming that's okay, Raven will take 5 blood from the person in question, and after sealing the wound will make it seem as if the person's been mugged by taking some items from their body, etc. And then proceed down to the docks.
Jean is also going to feed. He will, what his plan is to stand on a corner and then very casually, maybe sit on a bench, and he's going to use perception investigation to watch for a good target, and then he'll feed that way. I got 1, 2, 3, so he finds a likely target. Jean will go up to the individual, kind of walk behind them with his usual kind of friendly style and swagger, and maybe watches the individual go in and out of a store. And when he looks like he's able to get them alone based on the area, he will quickly bite and drag them into a corner, and he will loot their bags and throw them in the trunk of his car, leaving them to think that they had also been mugged, and he will give them a bop on the head, taking 2 blood traits. And he will go see Raven.
Raven will wait at the docks. She'll stand where you can see her, or at least see her silhouette. This area, the docks that we've claimed recently, is pretty abandoned, so it's unlikely there'll be anybody else around.
Jean will pull up and park his car and walk over to where Raven is, looking to make sure that he doesn't see anyone around. He will let's go ahead and roll perception and alertness, just to be sure. Botch. So he assumes if there was people around there aren't any. He's oblivious. But he'll come in and he'll talk in his actual voice rather than the one that he affects. Raven.
She turns her head towards Jean and sort of gives him a cursory look up and down, and then nods her head and puts a cigarette in her mouth and lights it, still tasting the blood on her lips from her recent kill.
You wanted to speak about something?
I wanted to talk about what happened just now without Bitter present because I can sense she's a little bit upset by what occurred. She was very quiet after we left the meeting room.
You will not. I had warned her previously that if I thought it necessary, I would monomacy her and take Ductus ship.
But what possessed you to do it there and then?
She knew that it was a risk when she went into the Cardinal. If she started speaking in a fashion that made the Cardinal look down on our pack.
You see Raven sort of tense her jaw a little bit. The thing is, I don't really think that what happened in there did any favours to our pack either.
I wouldn't say that. They stopped our monomacy because they feel that we are both valuable and we were too valuable to lose. And we showed that we were willing to fight and die by the honor of the sword.
The honour of the sword. She looks at her wrist, where the new wound is. It's the first time I've had that kind of fight, I have to say. Swords aren't really my weapon of choice.
Gene will kind of pat the back of his shirt, and he'll be like, "No, my weapon is my knife generally. However, we acquitted ourselves well. Bit feeding off you is another mark against us, but we're going to do Valdery, and we'll move past that as well."
I just thought that her frenzying on you would only lead to her being thrown into the fire, and forgive me, my bond to our sister is very strong. I sometimes act on impulse to defend her.
I understand. I'm not angry at you. You fought well. But I can't abide poor leadership. I would do the same to any bishop as well if they were dishonoring us or doing what wasn't what was best for the city in their case.
I don't think that. I think Bitter herself will tell you that Duchess was not a role that she was considering herself for, or that she felt herself able for. It's she tends to take a more knowledgeable and social stance in the pack rather than a leadership stance.
It was her choice to take Ductus, and I told her that I would let her stay until I found that she was doing a disservice to the pack. I explained that when I first came into the pack, that night when you and she and I all sat down.
I think with the balance of us three in the place that we belong, that we can only go on to strength.
I think the pack will function more effectively. And I hope that we all should grow past our weaknesses.
I did my best to show willingness of etiquette earlier on.
Yes, that makes me happy. And right now you're being forthwith as well, rather than trying to hide your feelings on the situation, which I also appreciate. It shows willingness to grow as a Cainite rather than being stagnant. as the antediluvian star.
My relationship with the previous occupants of our new domain was a personal matter. Sometimes I'm a little bit cagey about personal matters, but I hammered things out with Bitter. I think I can be more comfortable with talking to you both now.
Yes, I'm happy to hear that, and I think we will. Um, I think we will all learn to grow, and I'm very excited whenever we are able to Baldry. I think it will do us very well.
I'm excited for it as well. I, uh, I haven't been in a position since my creation to be part of a truce about that. So it's exciting for me, even though I've been a Canaanite for quite some time. It's still new.
He'll look out into the water and he'll say, "A year and a half ago, I was a shovelhead. In 6 months, I became a full initiated blooded member of the Sabbat. In that year, we waged war on the city of Paducah. We fought the Camarilla and ran out the Anarchs. So I'm only a year and a half a Sabbat member, but I have seen much blood, and my knife has caused many a torpor. But I am not what you would call a long-lived vampire. But I have dedication, and I know that this pack can be strong. But this is not going to be Jacob Burns' pack, and you have to help Bitta understand that. I'm not going to be as focused on mortal sway as he was. I will secure the pack so that we have finances, and I will secure items for our safety. But I am not leading a pack for mortal sway. I am leading a pack for war. You are a scout and a warrior. I am a leader and a warrior. And Bitta will be our spiritual warrior, leading our us down our paths and keeping us together and keeping us strong. It is still the Cain's bastards, but we are not the same leadership and not the same pack.
You can see when you're talking, Raven's nodding along, and you can see that she's pleased. She agrees with what you're saying, and she likes what you're saying. She's wanted to be in a more war-orientated pack since she started, and this, being able to use her skills makes her happy. So there's more animation to her, normally quite still-faced than usual. I wish Isis could have been here to see this. She'd like to fight.
I think that's what this city needs, and he'll kind of look back towards the city. Right now, we are the packs weren't warlike, and not to badmouth anyone you might have cared about previously, but this city has had too many fun and games ran in it, and not enough structure. It's crumbling. People are leaving. People have been killing so many mortals in games of instinct and casual feeding that the city has become inhospitable and run down. We have to build it back up so that we have a good supply of mortals to feed on, or we're all going to start having difficulties finding food.
Oh, I totally agree. I've said the same sort of thing many a time to people in the city. So it's nice to have a leader that's on the same wavelength as I am.
Good. And hopefully I'll be able to move others towards this wavelength. Or I will have to challenge them to monomacy as well, and it will be to torpor or death, not till one of us says give. Because I refuse to see the city that I live in become ruins. And while whatever independent or Camarilla group is holed up in the support or in the airport fucking us, it's been overlooked as an unassailable being. We need to do something to displace them. Priorities have not been made properly in the city, and I've already talked to Bishop Bratos, and he is of a similar mindset that things have to change, and he is willing to give me resources to see this done. And we're going to use the excess resources that we had from Jacob to see that put to good use.
Good. I think before you arrived, there was a group called the Time Bandits pack, and I don't think they did anything but drive the city into chaos by making a lot of silly games. The first time I even stepped foot out of the woods, they were trying to get me to demolish a load of houses and kill a load of people in a residential area, just for the sake of sakes, you know. And that's not the kind of Cainite I am. I do think about my actions before I act.
Good.
I don't kill for killing's sake.
There's no point to it. I'm glad we're on the same wavelength, Raven.
So am I. I have to admit, I wasn't sure about you at first, but as time has gone on, the past couple of days, I've grown to respect you, and I think that the Vaulderie will only bring us closer in our endeavours.
I agree. I'm going to go to our communal haven, and I'm going to wait for Bitta, and hopefully we will have a chat.
I'm going to join you. I think it's important that we reassure her that she's not alone, even though she may feel it after what transpired earlier.
Yes, and we should assure her that we hold no ill will for what happened. We were looking out for her best interest.
And I owe her an apology. So.
I think she probably feels that she has in some way failed us. And I feel more that I was equipped to handle the situation better. And that it was good faith that you were put in because we were able to show that we were willing to fight as hard as possible and do the monomacy proud.
Good. Well, shall we?
Yes. And they will go into the night. I believe that's the end of this scene of Sabbat Dinner Theater.
Yep. Hope to see you guys next time.
Bye.